Well, South Africa faces a water crisis. We're already a water-scarce country, as we know. The quality of our fresh water is deteriorating due to an increase in pollution. An initiative started by a non-profit organization, the Litter Boom Project, uses a large pipe to collect surface-level plastic in flowing rivers. This low-tech and relatively cheap device is making a big difference in cleaning up river systems in KwaZulu-Natal and in the Western Cape. It has sparked research by the University of Cape Town. Well, for more on this, I'm joined by Kevin Winter from the Future Water Institute, which is based at the University of Cape Town. Kevin, good afternoon. I mean, this is a very interesting project. What drew your attention to it and how beneficial is it?
Good afternoon, Dan. Yeah, I think this is a really serious issue, and you've raised this thing. We've been through day zero here in Cape Town. We've focused on water supply, but our attention is increasingly at water quality and what's coming down that water. So it is a really serious matter that we're dealing with here, and we're trying to trap plastics before they find their way into the ocean. So I'm not actually on the Liesbeek River where our project is with the Litter Boom at the moment, but on our research site in Franschhoek. And we're looking at a river, if you can see it in the background, of plastics that are coming down from an unplanned settlement on the hillside behind me. And what I'm standing on here, if the viewers can see, is a pile of plastic which has been collected over the last 3 weeks in a boom, typical of the project that the Litter Boom is working with on us, in terms of working with the river, that is. And what's exciting about it is that I think we've now using some very low-cost technology so that we can see that river constantly. In other words, we've got eyes on the river, and that's helping us to manage that litter, when to actually extract it, when we need to be careful when the next rain comes along, and to try and get a better management of that plastic. Obviously, you want to try and deal with it where the problem really is being caused, but that's a long-term problem that is going to need to require lots of heads around the table, lots of government money and private sector involvement in order to try and deal with that. But it's really serious. And I'm 300 meters, by the way, 300 kilometers from it, and from the edge of the coastline. This plastic's going all the way down the Franschhoek River, Berg River, eventually in the coastline.
And just very briefly, we've got a bit of a wind where you are. It's a bit windy. The audio is not the best of audios, but we can hear you. Kevin, as we conclude very briefly, I understand this is cheap. It's effective. I mean, it's hundreds of tons of plastic already have been presented from reaching the sea via rivers in KZN and where you are in the Western Cape.
Yeah, certainly, and it does require a lot more attention to how we're going to deal with those hundreds of tons that are coming through. But it's a simple way to try and trap it, cost-effective way, eyes on the water, makes such a difference into what has been collected and what we can actually remove through municipal and through private enterprise as well. It's an absolute must, Dan.
Thank you very much. That's Kevin Winter from the Future Water Institute, linked to the University of Cape Town.